Uh,
You are about to enter a space of ultimate football knowledge. From four guys with little to no actual football experience, except for armchair quarterbacking. Brace yourself for passion and knowledge like you have never seen. Welcome to the Football is King podcast. Hello, what's up, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Football is King podcast. We're here to talk all things NFL week number 7. I just realized that intro, I'm pretty sure we all played middle school football.
we all
And
play middle
yeah,
school.
played middle school football in the state of Texas. So I mean that's basically like one
I
step
played freshman
below.
year of high school. I got absolutely
Oh,
played
look at
several
that.
times.
Good for Blake playing freshman
I,
year of high
I
school.
went to like two practices freshman year.
I technically did win the kicking competition. My senior year of college, or not college, high school, they were looking for, dude, if I was the kicker the senior year of college at Texas A&M, I would still be kicking. But then I asked the coach if I had to go to practice every day because I don't need to go to practice every day to kick field goals. And he said, yeah. So I didn't take the thing. But practice started at like 5:30 in the morning. Heck no, man. It was my senior year of high school. I'm not showing up at 5:30 to kick football.
Even in the NFL, the kickers are just hanging out playing ping pong all day.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're going to have me there at 5:30. I'm going to kick the ball like 5 times, and then you're going to tell me just go stand on the sideline. Just like have me show up once a week, and I'll kick them for you.
Yeah,
It's not that hard. It's so easy that the NFL Rules Committee is talking about making the goalpost narrower.
they should.
No, they should not. Field goal kicking is so difficult. And we
At this
want
point,
points.
don't change it.
We
They
want
just-
Don't
points.
change
They
it.
should make you have to kick it into a little bucket or something because it's so easy.
They need to stop changing the game in the first place. Let's not just go
Okay,
crazy.
the only thing I would take with the kicking, let's go full rugby style with it, where even if you get tackled like on the sideline, then you got to kick it from the sideline. Forget the hash marks. And just
the hash mark, yeah.
instead of that, like instead of having a rush, which does take away the blocked field goal, which is an electric play, but it also doesn't happen that often. Like, let's say you get tackled out of bounds and it's like 4th and 3, but you gotta like kick the ball from wherever you get tackled or wherever you run out of bounds, just like you
That
do in
really
rugby.
changes
The
third down.
angles would make it insane.
That changes third down.
It changes third down, and it would take away short field goals because it'd be impossible to make a short field goal from the sideline. You would have to go for it.
You would have to go for it.
So that's if we're talking about changing the rules, that's what we need to change.
Also, that would mean so like you're driving down the field to kick a game-winning field goal. You're out of timeouts. You can't go to the sideline.
Yeah, you gotta stay on the center of the
You
field.
got to stay on the. You got to make sure
And
you're somewhere in the seams.
Or it makes your teams that have a good kicker, like, they're gonna be elite.
That would be. I like this.
Oh,
I
there
like
it
this
is.
a
There it
lot.
is. Bronny and
Dude,
LeBron.
Bronny and Braun coming in together.
This is hilarious. This is
Man,
such a
wouldn't
good-
it be great if he just subs Bronny out like 5 seconds later?
Watch. I bet Bronny turns it over in the next 2 seconds.
Dude, I want him.
No,
I
if
want him to
anything,
score.
it's LeBron is gonna turn it over because he's gonna force it to Bronny.
We just forced a long 3.
I want Bronny to knock down this jumper right here.
No, LeBron.
So
did.
bad.
Dad couldn't give it up to
Oh,
him.
Dad didn't give it up. Dad took a bad shot.
Oh, defense. Oh,
Joey
he gets scored
Ingles.
on now.
Matched
Now we
up
get
on
scored
Joey
on.
Ingles.
No.
Ooh.
A 19-year-old versus. Oh no! Do not. Nope.
Oh.
That's
Bronny.
tough. That's a tough. You can't really do a lot there.
Okay, you're just gonna have to let us know when Bronny scores.
If he scores, I'll let you know.
Let's talk NFL week 8 or week 7 thing. Sorry, we're gonna fly through this
Oh!
week because it was not the best.
Is there
week.
a lot of bad NFL teams out there?
I don't think that there's a lot of bad NFL teams. I think it's very similar to college football that there are the good teams, then the good teams just beat the average and the bad teams.
There's like a clear delineation between like who's actually good and like who's average and bad.
Because like I personally don't think that the Jaguars are as bad as their record shows. Now, they're not a good football team. Let me get that out. However, I think that they do have a bad coach, but
Yeah,
like they've got some serious talent.
I think he's was on the way to getting canned if they didn't win that game on Sunday.
Oh, for sure. He was not getting on the plane. But
Yeah,
like they've got a pretty decent wide receiver core. Tank Bigsby is pretty good. Trevor Lawrence is obviously not great. Their offensive line is obviously not great. Their secondary is atrocious, but their defensive line is good and their linebacking core is good. So like I would say that the Jaguars are an average football team. However,
they can't win a game most of the
they
time.
they've got some bad coaching. They've played some decent teams that they've lost to, but I would say the Patriots are a bad football team, and you can see that even in the NFL, an average team like the Jaguars can beat a bad football team.
Yes.
But then when the Jaguars play a good football team, they're going to lose. So I
Yeah.
think it's just
No.
There seems to be like a more clear delineation between the teams because normally I feel like in the NFL, any given Sunday, and it's still somewhat like that, but it seems like there's a lot of bad football
I
teams
was gonna
out there.
say you say that right as of right now, I do think that we're about a third of the way into the season. As of right now, we have four teams that have only won one game. So these are the teams that everyone thinks that are never going to win again.
Well, here's the other. Here's
But
the
a
other.
lot of them are going to go. Some of them are going to go on a streak.
Not the Raiders.
No, not the Raiders.
The other bad thing is the NFL is forcing us to watch bad teams.
We got to figure out the prime time situation.
We got to flip that. We got
The flex scheduling, which is supposed to be a thing, they're not using it properly.
Yeah. Don't force me to watch the Jets and Steelers, please.
Well, and like this upcoming week, they flexed the Cowboys 49ers or one of the no, I think they flexed the Giants Steelers game onto Monday Night Football. Why are we flexing the Giants onto Monday Night Football? How are the Giants going to be on prime time
and I think didn't
more than like a good team?
Didn't the Bears Commanders get flexed to something?
No, the Bears Commanders got flexed out. They're now at 325.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think they flexed I think I don't know what it was, but they flexed somebody this week, and it's just like not, or maybe it's next week. Maybe it's the week after that. But just whoever they flexed was not a good game.
Here's the
No,
problem.
I know what it was. They flexed the Colts and Vikings onto Sunday Night Football. Why? The Colts suck.
Yeah, it makes no sense. That's the problem, though. Like in college, I can just flip the channel and I can watch any game I want to watch. The NFL, you're limited in what you can watch, and then like Monday Night Football, I'll watch it. But do I have any interest in Giant Steelers?
The paywall is the biggest problem to the NFL.
They're forcing the Steelers on us. The Steelers are not a fun team to watch play football.
No, and the Steelers are a good football team. They're just not fun.
They're not fun to watch at all.
But like, how do you flex the Colts Vikings onto primetime when you have the Lions and Packers playing each other that day?
Right?
That's such a better game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm also for, well, I don't know. I know that they've got to plan all the games in advance and do the scheduling and stuff. Just, y'all,
Oh, they pulled both of them out.
nice. Don't look.
Oh, never mind. They're in.
Don't look at the week 9 schedule because it is going to be rough.
Let me see if I can find one good game on there.
You can because that's the week.
They're forcing the Jets on us.
That's the week that the Lions play the Packers, which is great. But I'll go through the whole schedule for you. Week 9, which is it was supposed to be a good weekend, but we're going to be in. This is the weekend we're in Shreveport. Texans Jets on Thursday Night Football. Trash. The Jets suck. No one wants to watch it. Cowboys Falcons will be fun for us to watch with Blake to see who he's going to root for, no matter what Blake wins.
And you put a little money. You put a little money on these games, they suddenly become.
It's going to be a fun weekend to gamble on,
yeah.
but not a fun weekend to actually watch. Bills Dolphins sounds good, but at the beginning of the year, but the Dolphins are bad. But I don't. Tua's back.
Might be back. I don't know.
We're gonna watch the Raiders get their teeth kicked in by the Bengals. It's gonna be brutal.
Yeah.
Chargers Browns. The taking the under for sure. Patriots Titans taking the under for sure. We don't actually know when Jaden Daniels is going to come back. We got Commanders Giants. We got Saints Panthers. The Who is More Dead bowl. The Ravens Broncos. That's a butt kicking. The Eagles Jaguars. That's a butt kicking. Bears Cardinals. I don't think either of those teams are very good. Lions Packers. Rams Seahawks. Neither team is very good, but they're both fun. Take that. And then Colts Vikings on Sunday Night Football, and then the Bucks Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Just what a crap week of football.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Oh man, I think that just changed all the things I'm gonna gamble on. I think I'm just gonna throw a shit ton of money on each game and just see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this week's games. That's 10 minutes of we have not talked about a single game yet. And there's good reason because there was some bad games this weekend, but that's fine.
A lot of them.
Let's
I
go through
didn't
the
watch a whole lot.
That's
so
fine.
you
Let's go
guys
through the
can
prime
see
time
it.
games first. Thursday Night Football, if you cast your mind back, the Broncos kicked the Saints' butt on Drew Brees night in New Orleans. It was brutal.
Sean Payton was not going to lose that game regardless.
No, but the Saints,
They're terrible.
they've given up. They did sign Alvin Kamara this week to a 2-year extension, so everyone can stop saying that he's going to get traded to the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't need a running back. I don't know if you've watched the Chiefs recently. They can run the ball with who. It doesn't matter who plays running back. They can run. The problem is they can't pass.
Go to the Broncos.
Well, he got a $24 million extension, so I don't think anyone's going to trade
He's
for
a
him.
Saint, and they suck.
And the Broncos also suck.
Yeah, two bad teams.
That was a great Thursday. That was a classic Thursday night football game. Sunday morning, we had a London game. I love a good London game. Did not hit the Lunder, which is sad. I love a good Lunder. But the Jaguars absolutely obliterated the Patriots. Gerard Mayo, we talked about him a little bit yesterday. He's no Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Just like Kalen DeBoer is no Nick Saban.
They suck.
They are soft, to quote.
And they're terrible to watch. I mean, it is awful to watch.
Drake May is more fun to watch than Jacoby Brissett was.
For sure.
I actually have
a whole lot, though.
I have been pleasantly surprised by Drake May's play so far.
He actually played pretty well, other than the rest of his team.
I mean, their offensive line is terrible. Their defense is giving up.
Threw for almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he was also the leading rusher with 18 yards.
Yeah. Christian Gonzalez is a monster at corner. And then the rest of the guys look like they are guys that they picked up at a high school gym. And so teams can just throw all over them. They don't have a pass rush anymore. I mean, if your coach calls you soft,
yeah, it's not a good sign.
And none of your players come out in an interview and debate that, you're soft. None of them even stood up for themselves.
Yeah, the Patriots are bad.
The Patriots are bad. The Jags also kind of bad, but less bad. So I still think that their team can score so many points because their offense. If Trevor Lawrence isn't just absolutely awful, they could score so many points.
They got some dudes on the team at least, but they still Doug Peterson's a bad coach. They're a bad team.
I agree. Well, I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a slightly below average team with a bad coach. But Brian Thomas Jr. is a beast. What a great pickup.
They got a couple dudes that are.
Evan Ingram's a decent tight end. I like Tank Bigsby from there. All right, other terrible games that happened in primetime. We were subjected to the Jets versus the Steelers. Now, this is a fun game to talk about, though, because I love the demise of Aaron Rodgers. It's very fun. He's kind of like the LeBron James of the NFL, where his whole goal is just to be the general manager and to bring his friends over, and then the team still sucks.
Yeah, it's funny. I think Tom Brady ruined everyone's brains. We just assume, oh, he's a good quarterback. Wherever he goes, he'll win. Nah, they're terrible.
Well, I I think that he's a good quarterback. He'll go wherever he can win wherever he plays works. I think Tom Brady ruined quarterbacks in the they can play till they're 45.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, something's broken.
Aaron Rodgers, something is broken. The Jets defense, something is broken. You're giving up 37 points to Pittsburgh. Your defense is not good. I want to stop hearing. I, I love Get Up. It's a good show. It's a good program. I would like them to stop talking about how good this Jets defense is supposed to be. I know that everyone on that show is either a Jets fan or a former Jets player or coach. But stop talking about the Jets like they're a good football team. They're a
Well,
bad team.
they're getting Hassan Reddick, so now they're going to be good.
Oh, fantastic. Who's gonna play in their secondary? Because they still suck. Their linebackers still suck. Their defense is not good.
Are the Jets the most dysfunctional NFL franchise?
No.
The Giants, Panthers, Browns.
Raiders.
But the Giants, like
No, not the Raiders. How dare you?
historically, the Giants have won Super Bowls. The
Okay,
Jets,
I'll give you that.
Business decisions. We're making business decisions.
well, I'm more so speaking like from a
Are you talking like right now, or are you talking
no
overall
Overall.
history?
full his,
Oh, okay. No.
I'd put the Browns in that category.
Oh yeah, Browns are there. Bills,
But
honestly,
I mean, obviously, you can't take away the Browns.
The Browns like
The
back
Browns,
in the
if
day
you
were-
said, yeah, but that was like before it was the NFL. That was back when,
That's true.
like, the
It's like
Jets used to be good. The Jets won Super Bowls with Joe Namath. Well, he got hurt, but the Jets won a Super Bowl. They used to be good.
they're cursed. I think.
If
It all comes around.
if you take away recent history, you can throw the Detroit Lions in that mix too. But
That's- yeah.
but the Lions haven't figured out right. But I would say the Browns. The
There's about
Browns in
five.
our lifetime have been the worst team in the NFL.
There's about 4 or 5 when we can lump together where you're like they've just been bad forever.
Because in our lifetime, the Jets have made the AFC Championship game.
Actually, not even that long ago. I was shocked.
Yeah.
It was less than 10 years ago.
Yeah. So like the Browns are definitely in our lifetime in the last 30 years. The Browns are the worst franchise in football, and
Yeah.
it's not close.
Jets are up there though. Man, they're
The Jets are third. In our lifetime, it's the Browns, then the Lions, then the Jets.
that's fair. The NFL needs to stop forcing them on us.
I mean, but also, yeah, how do you have all the New York teams suck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what? The Rangers are very good, and the Yankees are in the World Series. So you know what? New York has something to hang on to right now. And the Mets were good. They
Yeah.
didn't make the World Series, but they were good.
I was hoping for a Subway Series World Series.
No. Okay, quick baseball aside. I loved everyone saying that for Juan Soto for the Yankees that Moneyball works. And if you look at the World Series, the two most expensive rosters are the team in the World Series. Like it's really bad for baseball that the Dodgers and the Yankees both made the World Series.
Because they're the 2 highest payrolls.
Yeah, but it's also really good for baseball that they made them because
Yeah.
it's all the big names that everyone wants to watch.
But also,
This is-
when you look at the playoffs, though, like some of the teams that are the lowest payrolls were in the mix.
Yeah, I'm just saying like this is going to be probably the most watched World Series in a long time,
For sure.
and it's not going to be close. But it's also what's bad for baseball because it's just the teams that spent over $300 million this year, are the teams that made the.
You have both coasts, though, so it'll be watched.
I mean, yeah, it's the two biggest markets. But even I am gonna pay attention to it, and I'm not a big baseball guy because I want to see what Otani does in the World Series. I want to see what if Aaron Judge continues to suck in the playoffs. Like I want to see all that. Like
Yeah, I like to watch the World Series.
I like to watch the World Series.
It's better if you have some skin in the game, but
yeah,
it's still exciting.
I've paid actually pretty close attention during the whole playoffs. I love playoff baseball
Me too.
because it's a different sport.
Yeah, you feel like every
Kind of like playoff basketball.
It's
within,
exactly like playoff NBA basketball. In the
playoff hockey is insanely different.
No, that's hockey is great all the time. Playoff hockey is just more.
More physical, more.
Yeah, but like playoff hockey, they're not like changing their strategy and stuff, except for they don't
That's
always play their starting goaltender because they give them a break. But like in the NBA, you've got teams that they don't care about the regular season as long as they make the postseason, where they'll care. Like if even if I'm the sixth seed, I don't care because I know it doesn't matter if I play you home or away, I could beat you. In playoff or in regular season baseball, there's 182 games. They don't care about 60 of them. Like they don't care.
But also in playoff baseball, you feel like each pitch has like a chance to be a game changer.
Yeah.
Kind of
They
intense.
and they do like pitching strategy. People actually bunt in playoff baseball. Like they get the runners on base, run aggressively. I like it.
It's a different game. It is a totally different game.
All right. The only thing I would also say about the Sunday night game, I still feel like Aaron Rodgers is dodging all of the flack.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
What?
dude, he's not. Yeah,
I don't get it at all.
That's why they keep adding new people because they're like, well, this buys us another week of hope.
Well, and it's just like I feel like the national media just has like a thing where like they've agreed because I bet here's my thought. My thought process on this. Now that Pat McAfee is a part of ESPN, ESPN is unwilling to criticize him because then he wouldn't go on the Pat McAfee show. That's my theory.
No,
Wait,
Well, Get Up's not going to say anything because Greeny is going to, have Rodgers halfway down his throat at all times. And
I mean, I think even if anyone on ESPN went and said a bunch of stuff about him, he has a relationship with Pat. I don't think he likes ESPN in the first place.
no, he doesn't.
no, he doesn't. But that would definitely I could definitely see Aaron Rodgers because Pat McAfee doesn't come on till like 11 o'clock Central.
Something like
So
yeah.
all the way through Get Up and all the way through First Take. And if someone said something he didn't like, maybe that week he cancels on Pat last minute.
That would be a Rodgers move.
That would be a Rodgers move for sure.
He would do that.
Or he would come on and give like the most electric interview of all time and just like criticize everyone.
Yeah, he'd probably do the same thing he did. What was it last year?
Yeah, who was
Last
he?
year was the first year Pat McAfee was with ESPN, right?
Yeah, he was beefing with like the ESPN executives or something like that.
Yeah, and Aaron like said some crazy stuff on his show about the ESPN
Yeah,
executives.
I remember like tuning in like appointment television to wait to see what Aaron Rodgers was going to say.
But also, there have definitely been times where Aaron Rodgers has just mysteriously skipped a Tuesday. One week this year, he was on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Like I could see him having his things where he makes it about himself or about a feud. Excuse
See,
me.
but I would almost say that I think they're close enough and like they could have a conversation where it's like, I think Pat would be like, come on and share your 2 cents.
Oh, Pat will let it ride because
And then Aaron just comes in and
ESPN
just
too.
bashes everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat's there for the payday, baby.
Yeah.
He just wants that check. He don't care.
All right. There were 2 Monday Night Football games. Both were terrible for different reasons.
Yeah,
The Ravens murdered the Bucks.
the Ravens are good.
The
I
Ravens
don't
are
care
real
what
good.
The Ravens are really good.
They're real good.
Can we talk about how I pay for the NFL League Pass and I still can't get the second Monday night game? It's not on YouTube TV.
Only on ESPN Plus.
It's only on ESPN Plus. I pay for the damn package. Give me the fucking game.
But that's only the CBS and Fox games.
I mean, my family
It's
pays
bullshit.
for NFL Sunday Ticket, but we don't get Red Zone anymore. Like it's the NFL and the streaming services. If
Well, it's just going to
if
get
Kim
worse, Austin.
Williamson made
It's
it
just
to
going to get worse.
24 minutes into this podcast, she's gonna be saying amen to every like the. It's just too much.
There's two.
I'm telling you, it's going to get to the point where every conference in college is going to have their own streaming service. All these teams are going to have their own streaming service, and it's just going to get to the point where it's just ridiculous.
But
I
here's
mean,
here's
it's
what's
gonna
gonna
get back to cable eventually.
yeah, here's what's gonna end up happening is that may happen at some point in time, and then they're gonna realize, oh shoot, like
Our ratings.
this weekend, the Alabama Tennessee game had like 10 plus million people watching. The Texas Georgia game had like 12 million people watching. If they do that, they're gonna get about 2 million people watching, and all these advertisers are gonna be like, well, nobody's watching the dang game.
I mean, Disney is buying all the channels. I don't know if y'all paid attention to that, but
Yeah.
all the channels are owned by Disney now. Eventually, it's going to get all bundled together under the Disney brand.
Disney brand.
They're gonna
And-
call it Direct TV,
Or
Time
some.
Warner,
No, it's gonna be like
AT&T.
it's gonna be like Walt something or I don't know.
That's some
But-
Walt TV or something.
But it's also going to be ridiculously expensive because
Yeah.
like Sarah and I have paid for Disney Plus or whatever for years now, and it's been reasonably priced. And then all of a sudden they doubled the price this year. Literally, like for the yearly price, it actually doubled.
Yeah,
And it's like, so then we canceled it, but they're gonna bundle everything together. They're gonna end up buying YouTube TV eventually, probably.
they have a strap because we
I
want
don't know. YouTube is so they're so wealthy that
Yeah, I don't know. We'll end up at cable at some point in time. We'll end up
Yeah,
back.
we're gonna be back at cable, or everything is gonna be FanDuel Sports Network.
That could be.
They bought Bally's this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What? Bally's went under, so I knew they were.
So I'm really intrigued when we go to Shreveport in 2 weeks because there's a Bally's Sportsbook in Shreveport. Is it going to be FanDuel Sportsbook by the time we get there? Probably not, but it would be interesting.
But wait, the casino you said earlier is FanDuel.
Correct. I'm curious if they're going to have two FanDuel Sportsbooks because Bally's doesn't exist.
Yeah, they went bankrupt.
But I also don't know, like Bally's has its own casino, like it's its own building. So
Shocking that a network that doesn't allow you to watch it went bankrupt. I'm totally shocked.
That's weird.
I mean, yeah. If we want to talk about the plights of football, I mean, trying to watch hockey or baseball,
Any local broadcast is just dead.
yeah, it's just. I mean,
You can't watch local.
Can't watch
It's
them.
like, or like, was it Bally's is the one where like you could buy like your specific team where you only got those games,
You can't do that.
but anything that was local you didn't get,
It's
and then
blacked out.
it was blacked out, and you couldn't pay for a thing to watch any of the other games. You would have to buy each team individually to watch every single game if you wanted. It's like
That's
that's
ridiculous.
Yeah, Bally's. It's only available on like DirecTV.
So technically, you would only have to buy. No, that wouldn't work. I was gonna say you only have to buy half the teams, but the problem is with that is
Yeah, they play.
they play different, and
yeah. I like your thought on that though. Way to think it out.
you have to look at the schedule and realize what games
You
you,
gotta
actually want to
set
watch.
up the spreadsheet and see which teams are the most
Say,
cost
okay, well,
effective to buy.
This team plays here, this team plays here, but the next week they play against each other, and then like where do I black out here?
Regardless, ESPN Plus, screw you.
Yeah, ESPN Plus really causes
I
problems.
mean,
Owned by
ESPN Plus
Disney.
is like $5 a month, so I just pay for it.
It's
Owned
it's
by
10.
Disney.
The other problem I have with the ESPN whole situation, the app is the absolute worst
The
app. no matter
ESPN
what
app is the
platform.
Terrible.
worst app on
It
planet
is.
Earth.
If with all this money, you ought to be developing a better app because that app is piss poor.
No, I think Disney does it on purpose.
I kind of think they just don't care because
Well,
it is
I
terrible.
don't think Disney cares about the sports side of things. Like they're just using that as a money grab. I mean, remember a couple of years ago they were talking about how ESPN wasn't bringing in any money, and Disney had talked about
Well,
getting rid of it.
That's why they
ESPN, the channel's probably not bringing in a bunch of money.
Yeah, because kids like when we were kids, we were just watching on a loop.
That's because they ruined SportsCenter.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sports Center's
there's no
terrible.
more highlights.
SportsCenter's terrible. Honestly,
Well, there's
most
no
of the
more
time,
highlights, but it's
most of
also
the
just
even
the
like
same show on repeat.
I think First Take and Get Up really aren't great either.
No, they used to be when Skip and Stephen A were on.
They're good. They're good YouTube shows where you watch like the 10-minute clip, but like they're not a good sit and watch the whole program.
Podcasts have
And
killed sports shows.
ESPN has killed all of their TV and everything because they just have the same people on every show. How many shows is Dan Orlovsky on? 8?
He's gotta be. He's on all day.
He
All of them.
he just says the same things all day. So it's
He's
like, what's
on
the
college
point?
football, Get
That
Up.
man literally does 40 hours at the broadcast studio.
He's literally on there all day long.
Like
That's
I was like, as much as I love listening to Danny O say his terrible takes, I only got to hear him say it one time. Then
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't need to hear him say it the next hour.
He is on there all day long. Which respect if he's got a career out of this, but
He brings his lunch pail to work
Yes,
He does work a lot.
he's working hard. All right,
he took the red eye to get back there this morning.
let's talk about the actual games from Monday
Like
night.
private
So
jet really sucks.
Yeah,
the poor Bucks,
they are.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
They're injured.
I know he got hurt, but can we all agree he probably should have caught that ball?
Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I think the hurt happened right before the ball got there, and
Okay.
I say,
Like I was watching it
when
live.
your hamstring snaps, that's not a good feeling.
No, I know, but I was watching it live and I was like, he doesn't drop that. Like,
it was a dime by Baker.
That's a great touchdown right there, and he just drops the ball.
I think the hamstring popped right before the ball got there, and that kind of threw him off.
I mean, honestly, if the Bucks could play any defense whatsoever, the Bucks have a good chance of winning that game. I mean, the Baker played well. He played decent enough. That I mean, they scored.
If they have the players.
Yeah. Chris Godwin's out for the year, and he's probably not going to be a Buck anymore. So that'll be something to turn to the next year. The Chargers Cardinals game, pretty good that one was on ESPN Plus because
there's two terrible teams.
Yeah. Man, it's almost like the Chargers, who were the offseason the Super Bowl winners yet again, suck yet again.
Yeah, they're not good. Harbaugh will be good for a couple games where they'll play well, but they're not good.
Harbaugh has fixed the defense, but he ruined the offense.
Yeah, the offense. They didn't even score a touchdown yesterday. It was 5 field goals.
They kicked 5 field goals. Dicker the kicker, 5 field goals. I apologize to everyone. I apologize to everyone that was in their fantasy football matchup going in like, oh, I won. All they have is their kicker. I'm going to be great. And then he made 5 field goals and you lost. That's a bad beat in fantasy football.
Hey, Fairbairn's done that for me a couple times this year, so I'm not too upset.
The good thing is I have Carlson from the Raiders, and all we do is kick field goals. So
that's true. But
I don't remember the last touchdown we scored.
He kind of misses field goals too, so it's not great for fantasy.
Yeah, but he does score a lot on field goals.
All right. All right, let's go to the Sunday games. We're going to fly through these as well. Might be a short pod today. Who knows? We're 33 minutes in, so it might not be that short. The Seahawks-Falcons game was a butt kicking.
Yeah, Kurt.
I think we can officially say the Falcons are fraudulent. They haven't really beat anyone that's of note.
They'll probably win the division, though. They'll probably make the playoffs.
That's the NFC for you right there.
Yep.
The NFC North is going to get 4 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
for sure 3.
Depending on the Bears. Yeah, but they're going to get 3 for sure. Possibly 4, which is nuts.
If they get all 4,
does that
ever happen?
If you would have to get all 3 of the wild card teams would have to be from the same division.
Has that ever happened?
It's definitely never happened because there's only been 7 teams for a very limited amount of time.
Yeah, you're right.
This is the best chance we've ever had of it.
It could happen.
Because like there was one year that the NFC East was really good, but the Commanders were still terrible, but the
Yeah.
Giants were kind of good.
Usually one team.
Usually the NFC North like had the three teams last year, but like the Bengals didn't make it. So it's never been all four. The Seahawks they're a fun team to watch. They're not a good team. They're an average team, but they're a fun team. Their offense scores a lot of points, and a lot of times their defense gives up a lot of points. They are an over machine,
Yes.
which we talk about this all the time on this podcast. We love a good over. Overs are fun to gamble on. We love points.
Score. We're about it.
Unders are also fun to gamble on if it's like two crappy teams.
Unders are scary.
They're scary from start to finish.
Fluke play.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes when you watch, I don't know, for example, the Colts and Dolphins play each other. If you've got the under, it's so fun because you're just sitting there the whole time, just like,
throw a pick six.
oh, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna get a pick six? Who's gonna get a blocked field goal for a touchdown? Oh, they're getting close. Oh, they went for it on fourth down for no reason. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Like, I love the under is great for two bad teams. Not too.
But the over, you might get some relief like in the third, fourth quarter. The under, there's never any relief.
There's never any relief, which is why that's what makes those games that you don't want to watch, right? It's the whole, if you got money on it, it makes it more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, other noon games. We had the Bills absolutely kick the butt of the Titans as well. Titans actually start strong in this game, go up 10-0. Defense looks great. And then Josh Allen flipped a switch and just did.
I swear I blinked. I think I took a short nap and they were up like they were down 10-0. Took a short nap. I think it was 24-10.
Yeah, it happened so quick.
It was very quick. And the Titans are dead.
Titans are dead, but also, I mean, they were playing Mason Rudolph at quarterback in Buffalo. The fact that they even went up 10-0 is amazing.
Yeah, they're dead.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, it's Christmas time in Tennessee.
He's still from Myles Garrett hitting him in the head with his helmet.
Cool. We're going to get to Myles Garrett in a second. My guy. I'm a big Myles Garrett guy, but this was probably a good week to just shut up.
I didn't even know he was in the league.
Myles Garrett or Mason Rudolph?
Mason Rudolph. I knew.
Mason Rudolph is a great backup quarterback. But Will Levis being injured.
He's living that Colt McCoy life right now.
Hey, that's the best job in America.
And you know what? I think the biggest travesty of this NFL weekend is that we didn't get a good Will Levis meme this week.
This is true.
That's real sad. He was on fire. All right.
We are going to get some great Bronny memes because he looks very sad.
Nice.
That dude's just sitting on the end of the bench pouting.
Well, he knows he's going to the G League Lakers tomorrow.
He's literally like this.
Bummer. We did have a couple good games during the noon slate on Sunday. The Texans-Packers game was great.
Yeah, that was a good game.
It was back and forth the whole time.
Jordan Love, he's going to throw you some interceptions, but he's going to throw about 4 or 5 touchdowns too.
That is true. Jordan Love, I believe, has the longest active streak of at least 2 touchdowns in a game. That's active, not of all time. But he also
slings that thing.
They throw it all the time, but they also run the ball well.
He's kind of on the Holmes train.
Somehow Josh Jacobs got his first career receiving touchdown.
That's a crazy stat.
The Raiders just ruined good players. The Raiders are so bad. I'm still not sold on the Texans.
Stroud looked bad.
Their offensive line looked atrocious. I think that I don't think they are as fraudulent, but I put the Texans in the fraud category.
They're towing the line. I mean, they're 5-2, but they are towing the line.
They're 5-2, but look at the 2 times they played good teams. I mean, the Vikings obliterated them.
Yeah.
The Packers, I guess, did they beat the Bills?
They did beat the Bills, right?
They beat the Bills. It's okay. They're not super fraudulent. They're on fraudulent watch. I will not call them fraudulent yet, but they are on fraud watch for sure.
Yeah, they played the Bills are definitely the best team they beat, and the rest of the teams are kind of bad. I mean, Patriots,
Bad.
Jacksonville, Minnesota, or Chicago. Indiana.
Chicago, I also don't think is that good.
I don't either. They also haven't beat anyone good. So
Chicago has 4 wins against teams that have 4 wins combined.
yeah.
All right, let's keep it going. The Bengals beat the Browns. Not much to say about this game except for Deshaun Watson got injured for the year. That Achilles just popped right off the.
Do you think that was like the greatest moment for a Cleveland sports fan yet? I mean, or for a Browns fan at the very least. Like,
I don't think so.
At least he's
I think that there was a mixture of the cheers and the boos that happened at the incident.
You definitely shouldn't boo him.
I think it was the greatest moment for Johnny Manziel's NFL career because he realizes that he's not the worst quarterback decision that the Browns have ever made.
Oh, I mean, Johnny Manziel was not the worst decision the Browns ever made before that either.
No, for sure not. But now it's like solidified that Johnny
what
Manziel
do they have?
is
Like
a better choice.
DeShone Kizer, Tim Couch.
So do you move on from Deshaun Watson at this point?
You can't.
Can't. You have all that money invested.
No team is going to take that contract.
But he's going to sit another year.
He has $146 million in dead cap over the next 2 seasons.
He's going to have to sit probably. I mean, he may come back mid next year at best. Ugh.
He might be able to start. Kirk Cousins got injured. He popped his Achilles toward the end of the year, and he was able to start.
You're right.
If they can turn it around.
Shoot, Aaron Rodgers was apparently able to play with an Achilles at the end of last year. He didn't, but they said
yeah. He was full of it on that one.
And they will start Deshaun because next year his cap hit is
massive.
76 or 77 million, and then the next year after that is also 76 or 77 million. That's the same. It's like 76.9, I think, is the number.
You're pretty much married. You're married to him at this point.
Even if they get rid of him, they have to. Their cap is responsible for it.
Yeah, it's ugly,
bro.
Deshaun Watson will be the last guaranteed contract ever.
Yeah,
like that. That is a guarantee right there.
Every quarterback should be mad as can be at him.
Every player should be as mad as can be at him. They guaranteed that they won't get any. They will get very low guaranteed money.
Yep.
On that note, our boy, Myles Garrett. How do you not just shut up? How do you say in your interview that he was a model citizen for all of college, but the best part is he said, and most of the pros?
The most was a strong most.
It was.
He could have just shut up on that one.
He could have just shut up on it. And then Jameis did a much better job, giving a very impassionate speech at the locker room.
Jameis went crazy.
Wait, he gave another one?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Same one. Oh, did you not hear the I'm going to back my quarterback speech?
Nope.
It was much better than Myles Garrett's I'm going to back my quarterback speech.
It was actually almost crazy.
I see the way that he leads this team, and I will follow him into battle. That's what Jameis was. And it's like, hey, man, everyone is known, and it keeps getting reported that you're actually the guy leading the team in the locker room, not Deshaun Watson. Everyone hates Deshaun, but sure.
Well, now Jameis is going to get this opportunity. Okay, so if Kevin Stefanski gets the Browns in the playoffs with Jameis Winston at quarterback, he's coach of the year.
No. Kevin Stefanski is no longer ever allowed to be coach of the year. That was the biggest mistake the NFL did. The weird thing about this game, though, is why Jameis wasn't the backup.
Something weird must happen to that.
Something was very strange there.
Well, that's all I have to say.
It is. Yeah. He's crazy.
Why? What do you think's wrong with him?
I'll give him this. He's got a
I
way.
think he's on the spectrum.
No, I think that he found the brand that works for him, and now he just leans into it.
It's
It's
funny.
He's
What a
he's
weird
Matt.
brand, dude.
No, he's Matthew McConaughey.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you,
Oh,
Matthew
that's
McConaughey doesn't want to act like Matthew McConaughey, but he has to.
point. It's a good point.
All right, let's talk about the skip game of the week. The Colts beat the Dolphins. That's great.
Wow, that's
The
terrible.
only thing to talk about from this game is that Tua said he's coming back and he's not going to wear a guardian cap. And that's wild.
Good luck to save Mike McDaniel for me.
No, the Dolphins are dead. I don't even know why you would bring Tua back.
Mike McDaniel trying to save his job.
If the NFL really cared about player safety,
They don't. It's all
they will make sure that they flex the Dolphins out of prime time every time they're in prime time.
Yeah, we don't
from
need
here on out. Because if he plays on prime time, the hands are coming back.
to freezing up.
If he dies on primetime, oh my god.
I mean, we were all here. That one time we decided to do our podcast live and DeMar Hamlin died on screen.
That's funny. I forgot about that.
We got so many views though.
But
Trying to
we
find-
can't have it happen again. I will say, would it be bad or good if we notice the Dolphins are going to be on prime time? If we did that episode live, would that be
We
bad?
need to do all live time, prime time Dolphin games live.
I am on that side of it where I do believe that the NFL kind of has a responsibility to not make us watch someone die live on television.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I also understand it's probably like a legal issue, and the NFLPA has stood up for Tua and made it to where they can't keep him out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think somebody die on TV is not something I
But
like.
like, I really don't want to see Tua play football ever again.
I bet he gives it one more try, and then I think that's probably it for him.
Well, I mean, so we talked about it on yesterday's episode. Just, is it just because he doesn't know what to do next? Is it because he's so competitive?
I bet
It can't be because he thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. They suck.
I think those dudes, like especially NFL quarterbacks, like they are super competitive, and you don't want injury to end your career.
But like, go be competitive in something else. You're a
What's
freak
Andrew Luck
athlete.
doing?
If
You
I
know-
were,
these days?
if
You
I
know
were-
how good that Tua could be in the American Cornhole League? He's super accurate. He could just boom all day.
go pick up golf.
Golf.
You play every day. You got $90 million. Go play.
Shoot, pick up disc golf for all I care. You got a cannon of an arm. Go for it.
Andrew Luck is bald now.
I mean, he was balding at like age 24, so yeah.
Oh, but he shaved his head.
That's that CTE.
That doesn't even look like him.
Going full Britney Spears.
Trying to figure out what he's doing now with his life.
I
Oh,
mean,
pursuing a
and-
master's at Stanford.
I was like, Andrew Luck is the one guy that you can say was smart enough to actually go get a good degree after football was over and go get like a regular job.
Nope. He's a volunteer high school football coach.
I understand that he doesn't have to have a regular job, but like if I can't, what was his major? It was something crazy smart while he was at
Like-
Stanford.
I thought it was like architecture or something.
I
Yeah.
thought it was something like that.
Something like
too.
that. Like if you told me that just Andrew Luck became like an actual architect, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. He was smart enough to do that before he. Now,
No, he was a architecture engineer. Yep.
yeah. So that like he could totally do that. Now, personally, do I want my architect to have CTE? No, but you know,
He may have gotten out of it before it happened.
well, I don't
I
know
think
about
he
that.
was pretty smart and got out before.
Oh, he
was
definitely
in
made a
the,
good
like,
choice
the
because
big
he was going to
problems.
die.
I mean, they say he's worth $40 million still.
I mean, if you're a quarterback and you make it to that second contract, You're gonna get good money. Even Daniel
This
Jones
one
is
says
getting
26.
Daniel Jones is getting 40 a year. A year.
That's crazy, bro.
So Andrew Luck, who was one of the best quarterbacks early in their career ever, obviously was making bank. All right, let's get back to the Sunday games. There was another good game in the noon slate. The Lions-Vikings game was awesome.
That game was awesome. That
It
made
was
up for the rest of the bad games.
back and forth. It starts with a Dan Campbell terrible fake punt and just back. Justin Jefferson was a beast. Amon-Ra St. Brown was a beast. Jared Goff was great. Sam Darnold didn't play too bad. It was just a fun game.
Dan Campbell coaches football like we play Madden.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
he's gonna
that's
pull
so
out all the
true.
gadgets.
4th and 26, all vert. Let's go. Let's just like Hail Mary it up.
Every gadget play he can think of, it's almost like he just can't help himself.
However, a little bit of downside. Jameson Williams suspended 2 games.
That's that dude's third suspension in
Yeah,
2 weeks.
he might have character issues.
Yeah. I read that and I was like, this has to be a joke. Like that dude's suspended every other week.
The big thing from this game, if you look at the Lions schedule, and it's a well-known fact that Jared Goff cannot play football outdoors. He just can't do it, especially if it's cold or windy. But like all of their games towards the end of the year, when it will be cold, are indoors, except for at the Bears in December.
So they're going to win every game is what I'm hearing.
So they're going to win all their games, and then they're going to be the home team for all of the playoffs, also played indoors. And then the Super Bowl is played in a dome this year again. So like this could be the year. If there was ever a year that the Lions won the Super Bowl, it's this year. Because Jared Goff's never going to play outdoors.
Yeah, they're going to be all right.
Like
Green Bay November 3rd, that one could be a little chilly.
No, Green Bay at the beginning of November, not going to be that bad. Texans, Jaguars, not bad. Colts, indoors. Bears at home, indoors. Packers, indoors. Bills, indoors. And then there's the Bears game outside the week of Christmas. That game's going to be miserable.
The Lions are a fun team to watch.
They are a fun team to watch. I think they are a little bit too much of the media darling, a little bit overblown.
They're going to be that way until they win something. Because it's Detroit.
Yeah.
But I do like to watch them. They are a fun team to watch. Dan Campbell keeps you on your toes, I'll tell you that.
Before they beat the Vikings, they hadn't beat a good team yet. They beat the Rams, the Cardinals, Seahawks, and Cowboys. None of those are good teams.
They just beat the crap out of them, don't they?
They beat the Cardinals by 7.
7.
They beat the Rams by 6. They beat the Seahawks and Cowboys. They whooped the Cowboys. And then they beat the Seahawks by 13. But, they're going to play the Lions next week. They're going to play the Titans next week. They're going to crush them.
Yeah.
The Packers probably going to be a good game, but they could win that game. They're going to play the Texans, good game, but they could easily win that game. The Jags and Colts both suck. The Bears are average, so they should win that game. Packers is always a toss-up. Bills will be a toss-up. They could win the majority of their games.
You almost walk away from that game thinking that you keep waiting for the old Sam Darnold crash and burn game, and it still hasn't happened yet.
It's true. Good coaching.
So I think Minnesota is actually okay.
Minnesota is a good team. I did not they lost that game at home, but I wasn't the Vikings are fraudulent at 5-1.
They very easily could have won that game. Very
easily could have won that game. All right, and the final noon game was the Eagles versus Giants. Saquon destroyed the Giants on his revenge tour.
The Giants suck.
The Giants.
That's another team that's a real bummer to watch.
The Giants are the best suck team, though.
That may be true.
They are no, it's not maybe. They are definitely the best suck team.
That's not a great designation.
It's not, but it's a little bit of a respite for the Giants fans out there.
Just a bummer to watch them play.
If I was a Giants fan, I would be more happy with my season right now than I would be if I was a Jets fan.
There was very little offense in that game besides Saquon Barkley.
I mean, yeah, the Eagles' offense still not looking great. Jalen Hurts, 2 games without a turnover. That's a miracle. So
120 total yards for the Giants.
Yeah, that was bad.
Painful.
But I mean, it's just a well-known fact that the Eagles always crush the Giants because the Giants can't block the Eagles' defensive line.
Something about it. Giants.
I think the Eagles had 8 sacks.
Yeah, legit.
So I mean, and the Eagles' defensive line has not looked good at all this year. It's just that the Giants' offensive line cannot block them.
Ugly.
All right. If you thought the noon games were a snooze, the 3 p.m. games were. Let's talk about the Raiders. Because I think it is a team that needs to be discussed. Aiden O'Connell broke his thumb. Bummer.
Desmond Ridder, welcome
They
to the
bring
club.
in Desmond Ridder. So is Minshew the starter and Ritter's the backup, or is Ridder going to start?
At this point, who knows?
If the Raiders start Desmond Ridder, they have officially given up on
Hey, we're not
giving up.
tanking. He
You're
already
tanking.
said we're not tanking.
If you start Desmond Ridder for any game, you're tanking.
Here's the thing. I don't know if you boys watched the end of the Raiders game. We had a chance to win. And then Gardner just floated a ball up there.
That's what he does.
And it never even had a chance to get to the receiver. It just went straight to the defense.
So I think that the Raiders' best chance from here on out is actually that they
tank.
No. You gotta understand that Gardner is the ultimate backup quarterback. He's great when he comes in for relief for the starter. So you gotta start Desmond Ridder for the first drive,
and then bring in
and go 3 and out, and then put in Gardner Minshew, and then you'll win all your games.
Yeah, I don't foresee that happening, but I like the idea.
It's possible.
We're bad. We're bad. Brock Bowers is going to set some records.
You're not bad. You're
atrocious.
You're
terrible.
You're in the suck zone. You're a sucky team.
So bad. We are the only team to beat Baltimore, though. So,
well, that's not true. The Chiefs beat them week 1. But
that's right. Chiefs and the Raiders. That's it.
Man,
bizarre.
Have the Ravens played the rest of the AFC West yet? What if they went 0-4 against the AFC West? Did they already play the Chargers?
No, I don't think so.
Or the Broncos? That'd be crazy. That would be hilarious.
That would be really funny.
Yeah, no, they have not played the Chargers. They play the Chargers way late in the season, and the Broncos. Oh, they play the Broncos while we are in Shreveport. So there we go.
All right, we'll be cheering for the Broncos.
Ooh, that's a hard thing for me to do, but I will do it. The other big news that came out from this game, the Rams obviously get the win. They're still beat up. Puka Nacua, they opened his practice window, so he'll be coming back relatively soon. But the news going around the league is that Cooper Kupp is on the trading block.
I think the Rams are in a we're not going to win, so might as well get something out of it deal.
So let's imagine that Cooper Kupp goes to the Chiefs.
Who do you got to get? Or I guess you give up picks to get him.
You just give up picks. All they want is a second-round pick.
A second-round pick?
Yep, I would do it.
I would trade that tomorrow.
I wouldn't even think twice about it. I wouldn't even ask permission. I would just do it.
he's got injury problems, which is a legitimate concern. But you were talking about a triple crown winning wide receiver 2 years ago
for a second round pick.
for a second round pick. And if you're the Chiefs, the Chiefs are going to play the Raiders this weekend, and their wide receiver room is Xavier Worthy, Justin Watson, and Sky Moore.
Yeah, I'd probably go after
I
Cooper.
would bring in Cooper Kupp today.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think about it.
Today.
Oh, could you imagine? That would be so fun. It'd be so fun. But also, if you're the Rams, I'm sorry, even if you're in tank mode, Cooper Kupp is a player you can't get rid of.
They want picks because they don't have none.
He's too good.
But I don't understand the fascination with picks either. So
Yeah, but I don't understand the let me get rid of my good players for picks.
and take a guess on them.
Yeah.
There's cheap.
All right, other terrible games from 3 p.m. The Commanders beat the Panthers by like 30 points without Jaden Daniels.
Panthers need to play Bryce Young.
The Panthers need to play Bryce Young, and the Panthers are the first NFL team that needs to get relegated. I don't know who's going to be the new team that takes over the Panthers, but they need to get relegated. They're done.
It used to be, hey, we should have Alabama play one NFL team, but Alabama sucks, so that's not it anymore.
I mean, let Georgia play them.
Where Georgia played this week, they could play the Panthers.
Oh, the Panthers, they're a rough watch. Andy Dalton's a rough watch. I like Andy Dalton, but just put in Bryce. See what happens.
Man, yeah, there's no reason not to anymore.
Run the Wildcat.
Do
I don't
something.
know. Switch to the triple option. Like,
Do-
let's see something new. And then the Chiefs, our last game, beat the Niners. I mean, just it's great to just all. It's just great. I personally don't think that the Niners are that good ever. I don't think Kyle Shanahan is that good of a coach, and it's just great to watch Kyle Shanahan get out coached by Andy Reid every time they play. It just
I'm
brings.
starting to think that too, but the only problem is they just have so many injuries. I just don't know.
Oh, and the Chiefs don't.
Well, they do too, yeah. But the Chiefs, the difference is Brock Purdy. He's got to have all those dudes there to make plays. Pat Mahomes will do his own thing.
That's my point. Is that everyone likes to talk about Brock Purdy being so good? He's not.
He's a system quarterback, and that's fine.
No, he's not even a system quarterback. He is a I need all stars around me quarterback.
Which is
Because
fine.
because if he was a real system quarterback like Tom Brady, it didn't matter who was playing wide receiver, the system still worked. He would turn Chris Hogan into a Super Bowl winning player, even though Chris Hogan was playing professional lacrosse.
The
That year was so cool, though.
Brock Purdy needs superstars around him. That's
which
the
is
difference.
fine if you have the superstars, but when they're all hurt, that's a problem.
And they were not all hurt to start this game, but they did get hurt. But yeah, I don't think Kyle Shanahan is as good as people say he is. I think he's just been blessed by an all-star lineup the whole time he's been in San Francisco.
And that's suddenly blown up in their face because now they don't have any of them.
Yeah, they're going to eventually struggle to pay everybody. It is sad that like Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL. That's never good. We don't.
Luckily, he got paid.
He got paid. Debo Samuel apparently had pneumonia, and they tried to let him play, and now he's in the hospital. Like, what are we
saw
doing?
that. What in the world?
Whole reason I lost my fantasy game this week. They should
Probably
have
not
listed
good.
it.
The San Francisco 49ers should lose every draft pick for their fantasy football implications. They're lying on the
They
injury report is
Just
insane.
don't list it. They don't list shit.
I just don't get how they haven't been fined already. We still have not heard any discipline from the Christian McCaffrey scenario. He has yet to play.
Yeah,
I
It's
feel
insane.
like he's out for the year or something.
I don't think he's playing this season.
I think they're going to save him for the playoffs if they make it, which is still very much a doubt.
Question, yeah, it's a big question.
My other thing from this game is I believe that my students and coworkers and then the national media is uh, being too critical of Patrick Mahomes. And they keep
What are they?
saying because they just keep saying that he sucks. And like this season, and according to his standards, yeah, he's not having a good year in any way, shape, or form. But
They're
like
6-0.
it's just people that are looking
Two
at the
games.
box score. People aren't actually watching the game.
I mean,
Like,
throwing interceptions, but I mean, whatever.
okay, but if you watch the game, the two picks this week are super fluky. One, Xavier Worthy slips, and so then it gets
Yeah.
thrown right to the guy because Xavier Worthy falls down. And the other one was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Like it just a guy got his hand up and tipped it straight up in the
I
air.
also, I also don't think interceptions are bad. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's the worst. Like worst case scenario is you throw 0 interceptions, but you take 0 chances. At least you're
Yeah,
taking chances.
people are just complaining because he's not throwing touchdowns.
But
But it's only because for the first time ever in his career, when the Chiefs get to the 1 yard line, Andy Reid is running the ball.
yeah, and it's
Like,
working.
that's it. Mahomes is walking the team down the field on a ton of possessions. Now, the Chiefs have struggled in the red zone. I will give you that. That is a struggle for the offense. But if you count the drives that the Chiefs make it to into the red zone, they're in the top 6 in the NFL. So like the offense is moving, and Mahomes is a big part of that. He's just not throwing for 300 yards a game because they finally have a run game.
Yeah, they don't need to.
So he doesn't need to.
They're
So
fine.
I think that
Oh,
people are just looking at the stats and being like, "Oh, he's thrown more picks than touchdowns."
the Chiefs do what they want.
It's just, yeah, I mean, the dude is 6-0 and is leading the team down the field. I understand that the run game is more important than it's ever been, and he's not playing great. I'm not saying that he's playing the best this season. He is not. Probably Lamar Jackson is playing best at the quarterback position this season.
6-0.
But on third downs or at the end of games or the end of halves, he keeps putting together touchdown drives when it matters.
And that's what Pat Mahomes does.
Um, do y'all think that he faked ran out of bounds? Or do you think that that guy just made a bad play?
I think the dude made a bad play. I also think they get into the habit of like thinking they're just going to run out of bounds, and Pat Mahomes doesn't necessarily do that.
Yeah, I just don't get why they don't just wrap him up, but just
That's what I
don't
was.
bring him to the ground. Just wrap
At
him
least
up.
put your hands on him.
Yeah.
Push.
I really don't think that he did that much of a fake that he
I
was
don't
going to
think
go
he
out of
did.
bounds.
I think it was more so the guy was just assuming he was running out of bounds and he just didn't.
Yeah. I mean, he broke a tackle from Fred Warner, which was huge and impressive because I think that Fred Warner is probably the third best football player in the NFL.
He's up there.
Like, I know that there are quarterbacks that I just think that what Fred Warner does on a football field is more impressive than like what Josh Allen does on a football field. I understand that not most people will agree with that, but watch Fred. The next time you want to watch a San Francisco 49er game, every time they're on defense, just watch Fred Warner for the whole play. And you'll learn so much about the game of football on the defensive side of the ball. He's a monster. And it was just it was a decent. I mean, it really wasn't that great of a game because the Niners offense couldn't do anything once the injuries happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was in the balance for a while until the fourth quarter. It was a like 8 point game for a while, but then the Chiefs got a touchdown towards the end that made it instant. So
That's what the Chiefs do.
that's what the Chiefs do. They keep winning. They're officially the last undefeated team. And they have not looked great on offense, but the defense looks great. They play the Raiders this week,
So they'll continue to be undefeated.
so they should be undefeated, but like just the Raiders is just a game that the Raiders and the Broncos are the games I sweat the most. I don't get worried about the Chargers at all because I know that Travis Kelce will own the Chargers like he always does. But the Raiders and the Broncos, no matter how bad they are a sweat.
The Chiefs could very easily lose about two, or they could make it to about 15-2.
The Chiefs have a very favorable schedule on paper for the next chunk of games.
I mean, they got Buffalo in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
So yeah, they got the Raiders this week in Las Vegas. The Bucks the week after that, but the Bucks,
Are
Mike
hurt.
Evans and Chris Godwin can't play. Then the Broncos, then the Bills, in Buffalo. So that's probably a solid loss there. But then they get to play the Panthers and the Raiders in back-to-back weeks. Then the Chargers and Browns in back-to-back weeks. And then they close out with the Texans, Steelers, and Broncos.
Yeah, they got
So
a schedule.
I think that they could easily go like 14-3.
Yeah, that's
You
realistic.
could also see them going 11-6.
I don't
Like,
see 6.
I see best case scenario 14-3, worst case scenario 11-6.
11-6, I feel like is less likely than 14-3.
I agree with that, but the Bucks have been a yo-yo team. I know that they're injured now, but like the Bucks, if you go through their schedule, they're good one week and then they're crap the next week, and then they're good and then they're crap, and so it just depends on what week you catch them on. The Raiders and Broncos are easily games that could be split. So that's 3 losses. You could lose at the Bills. You could lose versus the Texans. And you could lose at the Steelers. The Steelers defense has played great, and the Chiefs offense hasn't been good up to this point. That game is also on Christmas. So like there's a whole bunch of wild card things going on there.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs themselves are dealing with injuries as well. We literally don't have a wide receiver.
That's true.
Now, if the Chiefs get Cooper Kupp, it's possible that they will go undefeated.
Yeah. If they get Cooper Kupp, that's going to be.
If they get Cooper Kupp, the internet is going to break, and it'll be
Yeah, it's going to be
hilarious.
for a second round pick. That's going to be something.
I hope that doesn't happen this week.
I also hope that doesn't happen. I like Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford together, and I would like them to stay together.
I just don't want to play all with them.
I mean, y'all just probably don't want to play us at all with your quarterback situation. So
No, really don't.
the Chiefs Raiders game this next weekend could be like 10-6. I haven't paid attention to how well the Raiders can stop the run, but if the Raiders can stop the run, I don't know who Mahomes is going to throw it to this week.
Let's look at something.
It's not Sky Moore, for sure. Dude sucks. All right, well, let's wrap it up. I'm ready to go to sleep. It's late. I know that y'all are listening to this on some random Thursday afternoon, getting ready for Thursday night football, where we've got the Vikings. Who do the Vikings play? They're on the road. The Rams. Vikings play the Rams. So maybe Cooper Kupp's last game in Los Angeles. He's supposed to play this week, which is, I think that's why the Vikings are only 3-point favorites, because Cooper Kupp's going to play. But we'll see. Hopefully we have a bunch of good games this weekend. We'll see y'all next weekend. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Football is King podcast. We appreciate it. And have a good one. We'll see y'all next time.